Hello, Michael here reporting from beautiful San Diego, California. And we're going to talk a bit about Pinterest today. Pinterest started out as a spot, it was like a home ec class in 5th grade, where you could exchange recipes and cool little designs, and has really evolved into a great social media tool for people that are running businesses. I'm going to show you how I use it to promote my business, and maybe you can pick a tip or two up along the way. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, how you doing? So here we are at Pinterest, and you can see that there's just tons of, these are all the people that I'm following on Pinterest and some of the things that they're pinning. And if you may not know all this terminology, but we're going to go over a bit of it right now. So basically, Pinterest is a spot where people can share pictures, they can share recipes, they can share videos, really anything you want. So what you want to do is this same kind of thing here as you do with YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and really all the social media tools, is you want to follow things that you're into. So you guys probably know a bit about me. You know, here's the overall categories that you can follow. I guess it goes without saying that once you get to Pinterest, which is Pinterest.com, you got to sign up for an account. So once you get an account and you'll have this blank slate in front of you, you want to kind of start finding some stuff. And you can either search, which is over here. You know me, I always look for cool vintage Porsche stuff because that's one of my nerdy things that I like to do. So if I search for vintage Porsche, I get all these really cool pictures and posters and all this cool imagery. So, you know, if somebody has a board or a particular picture, I can click on the picture and check it out. And this gives me a whole bunch of different options. I can repin, which is like a retweet, or it's like a forward, or it's like a share on Facebook. And I can repin it. So if I want to, I'll click repin, and it'll say, well, which board do you want to pin this to? Now I have a few boards already, so I can look here and look at the cool stuff. So right now I can look for maybe vintage Porsche, maybe Porsche Inspirato, because I do like to be inspired by this really cool color on a Porsche 356. And I can pin this, and I can also send it to Twitter if I want to, just to let other people know I'm pinning it. So again, the more places that we can connect all of this web, and it's sort of an obvious connection that we're connecting all of our different social media tools together, but it really is a web. It really honestly is. So anyway, now if I like what George Watson is doing and like a lot of his pictures, I can follow him just like I would to gather a new friend or a new follower on Twitter. And this person has this car pinned onto a board called Cool Cars. I can also just follow the board if I want to. So if I know that he's going to be pinning other cool cars to this, I can just subscribe to this particular board, and it will show me just the cool cars that gets repinned. And then anything that he's pinned originally, I can see his original files. And these are the people that have repinned his stuff. Now, if I look at my own board, let's go down here and look at my boards. So here's me, and I've got boards, pins, and likes. Let's first look at my boards. Now, I've got some of these boards are things that I'm using for my own business, so you can avert your eyes if we're not in the same company. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Everything I'm doing works for not only social or network marketing, but it works for regular businesses. It works for anything, any company. It doesn't really matter. I can show you one thing I did the other day. So let's see. I did this little vintage Porsche. I love these vintage Porsche posters. And one of my little, so what I did, and I'll show you how I did all this. So right here I would go to add, and I would create a board. It's going to say, hey, do you want to add a pin, do you want to upload a pin, or do you want to create a board? And if I want to, I can just click create a board. And I can say social media training. And we can put it under education. And anybody who wants to can pin if I want. I'm just going to leave it for me right now. But I could potentially open it up to everybody, right? So let's say I've now created this board, right? It's called social media training. Well, I'll go to a website where I usually go for cool social media news, which is Mashable.com. Okay, so if I click on social media, which is like a main character, so here we go. How to use Facebook and Twitter without the internet. That actually sounds like something I'd really be interested in. So I'm going to click on that. And let's say for fun that there was a really, really cool picture that was relevant to what I wanted to do here. What I could do is I could click, pin it. You're seeing this, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to click pin it right here. And this is going to pop up. It's going to show me all the images that are on this particular page. Well, this is the one I want. So I'm going to click pin, and I'm going to select that I want this thing to go on my social media training, and how to use Facebook and Twitter without a computer. And I will pin it. Here's where the ninja stuff comes in. If I go to see my pin, so you see right here, this is the picture itself, right? And it's now the only pin, it's the only picture on my social media training board. Well, if I click edit, a couple things happen here. Now, I've got this cool picture, and I've got this link. This link is the part that makes things really, really important. Now, if I want people to find my website, and I have kind of this cool, compelling picture, well, what if I just put in itsaboutsocial.com/training, and I click Save Pin. Now I've got this cool, I'm going to go back to my main page, and I see my pin, social media training, and I can click on this pin. And this thing says, oh cool, how to use Facebook and Twitter without a computer. What if I clicked on this? See what happens here is that there's now this essentially looks like it's coming from me. And if I happen to click this link, this itsaboutsocial.com, this now takes people back and gives me a backlink to my social media training. That backlink is the important part. That's the thing that we're really trying to get out of this. So you may go through all these different pins and find things that are really up your alley. If you're in a health and wellness company, as I am, there are millions of pins out there that you can use. You can use before and after photos. You can use YouTube videos. I'll show you. I just did a YouTube video today of my dog where we filmed, I literally put a camera on his head and I filmed a GoPro video with him. And it's a live video in Pinterest, so you can actually watch it, which is really cool. Right, and so there he is doing his thing. You can see him doing his super fun, so much fun to do. But if I click on this can take people right back to the YouTube video. Now I could have put this anywhere. I could have put this and linked it back to my own blog or my own website or whatever I wanted to do. So when that's finished, when you get all of that stuff, so now you've got a pin, you've got some cool content, you can always like it. Remember that every time you do anything on social media, you want to share it across all of your platforms. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, everything. So you want to like it. You can share it to your fan page on Facebook. The more of that you do, the more doors you leave open for people to find you. So that is going to be the end of our Pinterest training. Get out there, make some boards, and find some pins. All right? You guys have a great day. All right, I'll talk to you soon.